Another thing I've recognized about mental toughness is with a lot of depression and anxiety, it stems from attention deficit. Because if you have a hard time focusing on the tasks or even simple things that you're doing and get distracted and flustered and stuff, that can really just throw off your whole flow. And there are things to help mitigate that. And one thing that's really helped me out over the years is being organized and clutter-free in your space. You want your space to be nice. And when it gets cluttered, it feels neglectful, or it feels neglected. It feels like it just doesn't feel as good as when you keep your space nice. And sure, like clutter happens. Like right now, my car, there's kind of a mess on the passenger floor right here, But I tried to make it kind of a ritual as I go to do things for future Deja, which is like I'll clean out my coffee and stuff after I use it, so it's all ready to go for the next day for me. And so I do little things like that for myself to help make things easier. But clutter can really, it's your physical space and setting can really affect your mental health as well, is what I've noticed. So it's become a habit for me to, as I'm going, kind of pick up a little bit, even if you just spend a little bit of time just clearing one space, especially if your whole house is a mess. Just pick one little, just pick one counter, one table to organize. And sometimes you start out small and you'll get on a wavelength and just clean your whole house or whatever, which feels good. But just start small. Just start with a little space. And the more you practice anything, the easier it becomes and the less arduous it feels. So that's one thing that's really helped me, is staying organized, because when you keep your space organized, it also helps keep your mind organized, and also when you put intention into something to make it better, it really does. It's like you're in a mode of mind to make things better, and that's just a healthier place to be. So that's really helped me, and it also helps your roommates, because especially when things get cluttered, there's just the vibe of no one cares. It's just passive indifference is what I call it. It's just not caring enough about the small details. And with the small details and cleaning, because who likes cleaning? I mean, some people like cleaning. I never like per se the cleaning itself, but I've become accustomed to it enough where I know how rewarding it is, and I take my time. There's no reason to just be I'm just gonna clear this space and just throw everything in a drawer. I've been with roommates that do that, because it's hard visually to just see clutter. It's it just makes it harder. But to just take your time and find the home for everything you have, and give it a home and a place for it to be, so that you know where it is. And it's also a practice of taking inventory of things, because it's easy to lose things and you're like, where is this thing? But if everything, you assign a place for it, my phone keeps tilting. If you assign a place for all your things, then there is a place for it and you remember where it is. And of course, to me, it's kind of obvious what I'm saying, especially for those that do practice this. But if you struggle with it, just start with little baby steps, and it'll get easier and easier as you go, and you'll feel better about it. And it can be tough with roommates sometimes, unless they're on your level, but it can also, be inspiring. So be encouraged to do things for your future self, and